Greetings and welcome to another E3 prediction, where this time we're going into EA and what they've got set up for their pre-E3 kind of reveal. I'm Russell and join me is Mitchell.
Challenge everything.
EA has challenged the very formula of E3 because they don't want to even be seemingly a part of it anymore. Moving external, doing it separate
good for it.
Good is almost the wrong word I would use for EA, but
Russell, do the others have celebrities playing their games?
I was going to say, that's the first big question, Mitchell, is what kind of celebrities are going to show up at this event? Because we know they love Zac Efron showing up, Snoop Dogg's a given.
It's a little cloudy in the building. It's the lights.
Well, you can see the concentration.
Yeah, who will be high at this E3 conference? If Snoop Dogg's there, will he be smoking a blunt at the thing on camera?
Have you ever seen Snoop Dogg not smoke a blunt, though? Like, that's just
no point. I guess it's well, it's Snoop Dogg. He
that's
has
it.
his own
like,
laws.
You can't tell him off. You can't go, Snoop Dogg, you shouldn't be smoking. He's like, it's Snoop Dogg. You let him do his thing.
Dogg.
I'm Snoop
You just
Dogg.
let him go. And the other question, will they have a live little drummer thing at the start?
Will Michael Bay come out at any point to announce some kind of Transformer tie-in game or something?
You know who will come out? Andrew, CEO, good guy. Anyway.
General good guy to talk about different EA things. Like, will they directly address the blunders of Battlefront? Will they?
Is he actually the devil? These are questions we need to know.
Like, these are questions that are important to the narrative of the EA press conference. Like, they should be addressed at the start and then cohesively fit into the overall structure of that presentation. No, seriously though, can they be forgiven for what they did with Battlefront? It's like the general census.
Can they be forgiven for any future fuck-ups they make? Can they be forgiven for destroying Visceral?
It's like, will they bring it up, is my question. Like, will they bring it up? I don't know. They might go in with the assumption that, we've been good. Nothing to learn here. Like,
we are EA. We're the biggest company. We challenge everything and everyone.
The thing is, will they double down and go like, Star Wars, here's a new Star Wars game, and we're doubling down on the loot crate system.
Star Wars Battlefront 3.
We heard you guys didn't like free DLC, so we went back to paid DLC. Just the way you used to like it.
But you find it random. You don't know which random DLC you're getting.
What's getting serious now? Respawn is working on some kind of Star Wars game. So there is a chance that something may be shown there. Like, my hopes and thoughts are, well, this is what I expect at this point. I know you're different, Mitchell, but I'm like, I don't expect a single-player campaign because that's not EA's focus anymore.
No,
so I wouldn't even worry about
it. But Titanfall's campaign was so good. But no, EA thinks single-player is dead. We've heard that. It's kind of heartbreaking, but at the same time, Respawn did an interesting job with Titanfall where they linked up multiplayer and a story. So it's like, is it the end? We'll
find out. But I suspect if there is a Respawn Star Wars game revealed, like we know they're working on it, will it be Titanfall-esque in the sense of it has that kind of momentum? I'd say at very least it'll have that momentum feel going
I don't know, to be honest.
The feeling of just constantly moving.
If you think about where the Respawn came from, they came from Vince Zampella and the other guy whose name escapes me. But the point is, they come from Call of Duty, which when the Call of Duties they made, they were very boots on the ground, as they like to call it. That you're playing like you are this soldier. It's like they can do that. And in Star Wars, there's so many good opportunities for it. It's like, which era do they put it in? It'll probably be the original trilogy because I'm just thinking like shooters, like the Rebellion, or do they really change it up? But it's EA, so we'll find out.
Even that Disney wouldn't switch it up. They go, play it safe. Go for the stuff people love. Go for the original trilogy. Rebel Scum. That's what people love. Stick to that. Yeah, you can expect that's the direction they'll take. But I hope that Respawn has the initiative to take something in a different direction. Like, I expect it to be multiplayer focused. I hope they have something to make it more compelling than just more Star Wars multiplayer.
It depends how they do it. Is it full multiplayer? Like, do they do a Destiny type thing? Which they've got Anthem for that.
Anthem's the big one. But before we get into Anthem, because we want to blow that one out at the end, we've got the Anna Henning Star Wars game that basically was cancelled because they realized it was single-player focused, and that was not what the industry was. Like, that was the big, cliffhanger of, a choice where it's like, you know what? We don't want this game because it's just too single-player focused. We need to keep that multiplayer
keep that
out.
Money coming in.
The money train. Like, it's such a big goal with EA. That's why so often people villainize them, is because that seems to be their main focus all the time. But that game, they had so much seemingly done. Like, it was multiple years showing that game, and to just cancel it, they must have aspects of that game valuable.
Didn't they? I thought they didn't cancel it, but they moved it off the motive and stuff. Like other companies in it.
It's cancel in the sense of Annie Henning's involvement is very unclear.
What is her role at EA now as well? We've already asked that question.
I don't know what.
Last year. It's our question still is is she going to leave? Have they pushed her onto maybe Respawn's game has a single player, and they're like,
Yeah, Star Wars is like in that huge nebulous where it's like that's like one of the strongest brands in the world, and it's unclear what the hell they're going to do with it. If it's going to be a positive direction after the absolute fuck up of a Battlefront game, and then whether like the entire like fan base will get on it. Like if it's just multiplayer, I personally won't care about it that much. Like if there's no single player focus, like I want that. That's so yeah. The Star Wars license for them, it's something that obviously is super important. I think they're probably licensed to have to show something.
Put themselves at risk with that IP.
As unclear as like exactly what they're going to do with the Star Wars license is, what's very clear is what they're going to do with their sports licenses, and that is we're just going to get the same old shtick. Where here's a big FIFA section. Like it makes sense. Like I know you and me obviously don't get Mitch, but there are a lot of people who only buy FIFA. That is a huge game that markets
around
very
the world.
Well.
It's like one of the biggest games. Full stop. Regardless if we don't play it.
Yeah, but yeah, for general, there's going to be
you're gonna
Madden. We know this. It's all going to happen.
NBL.
Yeah.
No, that's a Sony thing.
that's the game. Yeah,
so
but
is my education.
They will have that section. But the recent question we've been having is because the Burnout Paradise release, like, are they going to fit in that somewhere? You know, is it going to be a new Burnout release because of the gradual interest being grown?
And what's happened with Need for Speed being kind of like it was average, and it's like they released Burnout Paradise remastered, and just like what do they do with that to kind of test the waters for Burnout, which I think Burnout may ever come back in that kind of open world style, which I have to admit I'm much more a fan of tracks with Burnout, but I think like Need for Speed, they've tried full motion video for some reason. They've tried always online. They've tried all this stuff. They're like, we need this to be something. Someone has to like Need for Speed. It's that they don't realize like what they have with it. Every single time. It's been so long since like Most Wanted, but it's probably their best one in a long time, and that is over a decade old.
Yeah, it's they have access to something that's potentially valuable, but then they just go and fuck it up with more loot crates and shit. Like, cars and stuff. Like, let's hope that whatever they do with those franchises, it's like it keeps the adrenaline rush of those games, like the arcadey, like over the top nature, but doesn't just drum it down with microtransactions through to the roof. Just absolutely ruining it. EA, it's in the name. But for the most part, we know EA Originals are going to be the solid foundation of it. There will be no bullshit with those games. We've had Faye, Unravel, Way Out recently. Like, they have... Yeah, there is absolutely no external involvement from the studio on those kind of games. It's seemingly what it says. Like, Joseph always said how, like, they didn't screw with him. Like, they were always good to him, I think is the way you put it. So, it's in that angle, it seems like they have full creative control to do what they want. And we know that's their initiative that EA every year will have a new original. So, hopefully, whatever they reveal is compelling. It looks great. And at least with the forethought, knowing they're not going to screw it up with all their microtransactions and stuff.
Admittedly, that is the thing I respect about EA. That they're willing to do these EA originals and not get involved. And like, EA love getting their hands involved in everything. It's like, they want to just get in there and meddle as much as possible. And with those games, they're like...
I think they do it as a trade-off. A trade-off to basically go, we're giving goodwill somewhere, even though we're doing devilish dark stuff over here.
Even the devil needs some luck.
We're giving to charity while also stabbing someone in the back over here.
Look away, don't look at this corner, look at that corner, that's the nice corner.
From the top to the bottom, at the core, I forgot in the middle of my thoughts.
So because we've been a couple of idiots and forgot Battlefield existed, I thought I'd say what I predict it to be, which is Battlefield 5. So with that in mind, I personally think it'll be a follow-up to 4, because 4.5 makes more sense than 1.5. And that case makes it obviously in a modern setting with modern warfare, not Call of Duty, and all the things that come with that. And it adds an interesting note for what the Battle Royale potential would be for Battlefield, because EA has a duty to fulfill. They're going to see that in the distance going, let's copy that, and allegedly they already have tried. So I expect it to have probably a Battle Royale thing, and maybe do that instead of the initial storyline, which for the most part the storylines have been rubbish, or they've been split up into parts, which was a unique way to do it, but it still didn't quite land. And I'm just curious if they drop that in favour of Battle Royale, if they get that done, or they just keep both, and they just look for ways to monetize that, because, it's EA. And because my fear with the single player is, like last time they had a whole studio doing the Battlefront 2, which is still dies, doing that storyline where they absolutely lied, and so it's like I don't think they're capable of writing a decent story. They never have. They've always been behind COD in that part. And now COD doesn't have it, so they have to really win in the multiplayer front. If they beat COD to the release, that's their advantage until COD launches, and then they can lose a big share of that. But Call of Duty's so big. But yeah, unfortunately, I'd love to see a World War II version, but we're not getting that, which is I'd love to predict it. Maybe I'll just go out on a whim and say yes, they will have a World War II version. 1942 too. 19. What a year. Alright, that's been this bit. Back to the video.
From the top to the bottom, the top I stop. At the core, I forgot. In the middle of my thought.
Yeah, and then we've got the biggest of the big, the one that is going to be the huge blowout, the one they'll talk about heaps. They'll probably have heaps of details. It's going to be the huge, massive release if it even hits this year, which seemingly isn't very likely. And that
Destiny.
is Destiny's spin-off game. Yeah, essentially, like. Even though I think this game looks much better than Destiny, just on a visual design
love
level.
the idea of Destiny. I like the idea of it's kind of sci-fi with a mix of fantasy. I like how that world's designed. I don't like what Bungie have done to it, but which is good for Anthem because they have a moment to push in with the fact you play as Iron Man, the Avenger.
For me, this is like a very consistent thing. I'm such a much bigger fan of third person compared to first person, and the fact that Anthem, it's mostly a third person, like you run around as Iron Man. That's what it looks like. Like you're Iron Manning it up, going into the water, flying around, shooting your giant rockets, taking down all the enemies. Like that's the shit you can do in this game. I'm like, that to me, on face value, looks
you can
awesome.
fly.
Like, really
that
good.
is the number one thing I like. The fact that it's tied to an always online thing, always interesting. It's dangerous to see what EA do with it because this is a Bioware game. Last Bioware game was it killed the franchise. Thanks, EA.
It didn't work. It didn't work out, and it seems like every last effort of development is going to this. Every Bioware studio, like Dragon Age, we've heard about for a while. Like it's seeming like that's in development, but not right now because Anthem is the main focus.
They did lose their
main
main role for Dragon Age as well.
Yeah, so it's interesting, just like how much of a focus this game is for them.
The question I think is this a last ditch effort from Bioware to survive? Because I think we both agree if this game fails, Bioware's future is screwed.
Some of them, for sure. Some of the spin-off Biowares are gone. Like, yeah. It's a scary proposition, I'm sure, if you're working at studio right now, going, oh shit, this is really like make or break with this game.
I need it to work. I hope it works. I hope it's great. I
really do. I think it will. Like, I out of all of them, like EA press conference, that's the one I'm excited for. Star Wars, I hope there's something cool there, but I don't believe so. Where Anthem, I think that's the one that'll deliver. You see it and you go, yes, that looks cool.
Yeah, the first time I showed off was like, that is an incredible thing. It's like, and I love the thing they did specifically. They opened with face animations. They're like, you hated this in Andromeda.
Exactly,
look how good they are. They look like people.
Well, it's interesting because it was even in first-person perspective, and there's like, is it when you're in the hub it's first-person, or did you just do first-person so you could see the facial animations?
Just zoom in for a cinematic effect.
Like,
yeah, I think they must have, like, they know that was the biggest issue. Like, people were bitching about it. They're like, okay, let's start with that. Let's show them that we're Bioware. We can make faces. We can show them.
Let's hope Anthem is a saving grace. And let us know what you think, the viewer. Is Anthem the biggest thing to be excited about for EA? Or do you think there's like they're cooking up something secretive? Like they've got some kind of secret weapon that isn't Anthem. Like something else that'll get people incredibly excited. Probably not, but you never know. They're secretly the Emperor, and they've got like the giant evil plan. That's the idea.
It's in the sky. You can't tell. Really secretive.
Yes, and for more E3 announcements, we've got predictions on all the other ones, thinking about what we're talking about, so please check that out as well as our general reviews and whatnot. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time. See ya! Rebel scum.